All right, so the Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 8, called the Empress Dowager. So in the last episode, we were getting into a lot of the ideas of Emperor, the brother of the Emperor, how like the original mother kind of made it to where her bloodline always stays in the royal family. Like we're adjusting our trajectory towards that sort of conversation again, like sort of what we did in the last season. So going from the last episode to this episode being the Empress Dowager, I feel like we're going to continue that idea of, oh, is Maomao going to find out who Jinji really is? I'm not sure. But without further ado, let's get straight on to it. Thanks for the original content, as always. All right, let's get going in 3, 2, 1, and go. Empress Dowager. What's up, girl? Haven't seen you since
today, this will be your room.
one of the festivals.
But this is the storage shed. Do you mean it? I can really stay in here?
Yes. Think on your crimes.
One day Lady Hongyung's going to kick you out of your room! You're going to end up in the storage shed! That sounds preferable. Are you crazy?
Yes, you should know this by now.
I have to go and ask Lady Hongyung. But... your bed! Where will you sleep?
Who says she's gonna sleep?
Lady Hongyung. You have no idea what this means! I'll hang my herbs over here. This is where I'll make medicine. Didn't I tell you it would be pointless? She loves it here. Why would you go and tell Lady Hongyung? For your information, she's the one that went to Lady Hongyung. Right, Maomao?
Yes, tell her.
Yes. There are many advantages to living in there. Huh? Just do us one favor and promise. Enough with collecting icky bugs, all right?
No promises.
I stopped on account of your fainting episode. Huh? Because there's a rumor going around of a strange court lady catching bugs.
Yeah.
And cackling to herself.
What was her name again?
Doesn't sound anything like me. But what sort of maniac laughs while... So, have you seen Shisui?
Not lately, but you know her popping up when you least expect it.
Doesn't she have like a workstation?
Hey, friends! Do any of you know where Shisui is?
Shisui? I can't be sure, but I might have seen her.
That doesn't help at all.
Depending on the information I receive, I could give you this.
Not Jinji's handkerchief.
Girls, I can't be the only one who knows that fragrance. The truth? Does it really belong to him?
So, are you going to tell me where Shisui is or not?
Of course. In the north area?
Knew I should have brought mosquito repellent with me.
Of course you would have mosquito repellent.
White blossom. So this is where they grow. The courtesans and I used to collect seeds for these plants. For making an abortion drug.
Just everything. Goodness gracious.
It's not as if Lady Gyokyo is the only one who's receiving the Emperor's love. There's a good chance Lady Lihua is pregnant as well.
Yup.
To make the courtesan's brew, you need white blossom as well as other ingredients.
And do they not grow in the southern palace?
Other than the mercury, the remaining ingredients can be found in the rear palace.
Okay.
But instead, she chose to purchase them through the caravan. In short, she had no knowledge of medicine, and someone taught her how to make the poison.
Mm-hmm. Wonder who? It'd be crazy if it was her, though.
You're so quick! This is who they confuse me for.
You act the exact same way when it comes to ingredients.
Looks like you had a successful hunt.
What do you use them for?
The girl really loves bugs.
Since last, this insect is actually native
She
to an
didn't
island
ask.
nation in the east, and they can make sounds by rubbing their wings together.
I didn't ask.
Maomao, you need to understand this is just how you are. Oh, Empress Dowager.
I saw her at the garden party last year.
Mm-hmm.
She's really young. Why are you hiding, Shisui?
How come you are?
Well,
Good point.
it's kind of a reflex with me.
Maybe she's going to the clinic. There's an unofficial one that's run by the court ladies around here. It was founded by the Empress Dowager.
I didn't realize that.
Of course, this was back when she had a whole lot of power. She's very compassionate. Everyone knows that.
Does everyone know that?
I heard she was instrumental in outlawing slavery. And banning the practice of making eunuchs, too.
Oh?
You should probably get back soon. Don't want to be yelled at.
Now I'm wondering if the Empress Dowager visiting the clinic has anything to do with what happened at the Crystal Pavilion the other day. Well, I'd love to eavesdrop if that's the case.
Oh, you will.
Nope, you're right.
Do it over.
Yes.
Why unofficial?
This is the third time. By this point, I would suspect I was being bullied, only...
Wipe those floors.
Yes!
Oh, is Empress Dowager coming here? This is different than even when the Emperor comes.
Welcome, Lady Usher. I'm honored.
Okay, yeah.
So the Empress Dowager knows that Lady Gyokyo is pregnant.
Mm-hmm. How do they feel about each other?
Trustworthy. This feels more like two friends who are close in age than wife and mother-in-law.
That's good. I think that's good.
You there. You're the lady-in-waiting whose employment was arranged by Jinshi.
What?
Lady Usher, I must apologize, but I believe it's time for Lingley's nap. Hopefully you wouldn't mind if we excuse ourselves.
No.
She's great at picking up cues.
What a perceptive woman. She'll go far.
Mm-hmm. Why did it get all dark all of a sudden?
I hear you have a talent for going around and solving problems.
Not with medicine, if you presume.
Limited pool of knowledge. I present whatever findings apply to a given situation.
She did not like that. What's an issue?
I appreciate your candor.
Candor? Oh, dauntless?
I have my own request. One that requires your insight.
Uh-oh. Does that have to do with Jinshi?
I wish to know whether I put a curse on the late Emperor.
I don't know if she really deals with curses. Unless you believe
A
that,
curse. Huh.
like a perfume or a certain
Perhaps
thing
it's natural for someone to think that way.
led to the old Emperor's, like, downfall.
To be honest, I haven't heard a single good thing about the Emperor. The most widely used word would probably be pedophile.
I mean, that makes sense. Like her and then Lishu.
The Empress Dowager has a scar on her stomach.
C-section?
When she gave birth to the current Emperor, she still had not reached an age of maturity. Hence, the operation. The current Emperor grew up strong and healthy, and the Empress Dowager later gave birth to a second son. The Empress Dowager must have been approaching 30 by then. That would mean... Is the Imperial brother really the son of the previous Emperor? What am I trying to do? Get beheaded?
No.
Soon after, the Empress Dowager invited the 4 high-ranking concubines to be her guests at an elaborate tea party.
The drama.
This way, Lady Gyokyo.
Lady Gyokyo is often drowsy, a symptom of early pregnancy. Lady Gyokyo's pregnancy is an open secret at this point, but at a tea party in person, there could be a more direct probe.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is Lady Lihua would avoid asking any questions that could backfire on herself.
Yeah. It's really these two who have the Emperor's heart. Lishu and Lolan don't really
That
care.
leaves concubine Lolan as a possibility. There are no rumors following her around, aside from the ones about her fashion choices.
She just loves being in
Maomao,
control.
A moment, please. Your service won't be required at the event.
There won't be anyone testing for poisons at the Empress Dowager's party.
That's
It
odd.
demonstrates our complete trust in her.
Oh, okay.
It seems the Empress Dowager would like your help with something. Don't tell me someone else has come to you with their problems. Don't answer that. I know you can't tell me. However, I would advise you not to
Ma'am.
do or say anything that would betray Lady Gyokyo.
Han Young is a ride or die.
If only all the other consorts had ladies as fiercely loyal as the Jade Pavilion.
I know.
Thank you for waiting.
This way. Before the current rear palace was built, this used to serve the same function. Here we are. We can't proceed further. As a matter of fact, not even the cleaners are allowed to step foot inside of this place.
Got sacred ground.
What is this smell?
Oh, is this his
What is this room?
old office? The old Emperor's
During
office?
the reign of our Emperor's grandfather, these were the quarters of a court lady who was promoted to a low-ranking concubine. That woman would go on to become the Empress. This was also where the late Emperor was raised, as well
Okay.
as where he passed away.
Okay. Interesting. A lot happened in that room.
Later, in his final years, the Emperor, his mother, and the so-called Empress spent many hours in that room. Perhaps from a weakened spirit, the Emperor drew his last breath in that room, soon after the Empress died, as if chasing after her. He had reached an age where his death could be described as natural.
Then why is the Empress Dowager so convinced she cursed him?
I am the one who did it. I wished he would go away. I wished for it almost every night.
When the late Emperor's spirit left his body, he was placed in a ceremonial mausoleum for a year. When they removed the lid, the body was almost exactly the same as when he had passed away.
Well preserved?
The Empress had passed around the same time. While her body was in a state no words could describe, his was.
And for Lady Anshu, that was enough to convince her that the curse was real. Eventually, everyone returns to dust, no matter the status one is born into. We are all equals in the end.
His building will be torn down. We would like you to investigate before that happens.
Yeah.
I will do my best. But first,
I wonder why it's getting teared
I
down.
need to make one request of you.
Gotta dig up those bodies. The only thing that I can think of is the fact like decomposition? Decaying. Decaying? I think that's the word. Is caused by bacteria. So if the only thing I can think of is maybe the environment, right? The environment that they put these caskets in were somewhat different. If they put it in the same environment, then I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't know. Because like if they were in an environment that wasn't good for bacteria, then that would mean that bacteria couldn't break down the body, right? So environment would be my first factor. Like, okay, was his tomb or whatever more sealed than the late Empress? Or was it in a colder setting than the, like, if they were in the same room, same environment, then I could be like, okay, environment, throw that out the window. Then it's like, okay, if it's not the environment, then could it, like, what other thing could cause bacteria to not break something down? Would it be his diet, like the type of stuff in his blood, acidity? I don't know. I feel like there's something that we're missing. There's something that we're missing that Maomao will have to ask. Or maybe it's the thing that Maomao asked Lady in Waiting for. That when we find out that reason, then all the pieces will come together. I feel like we have a puzzle and we're missing like 2 or 3 pieces. I don't want to look at this room again. That thing right there. I could have sworn. Didn't we see? We saw something like that. When we saw Jinxi's past, and he was like a little boy. That was his like dream. He picked up a piece that was kind of like this. Okay. My first inclination right here is paint, right? Paintbrush. I see like paint on the floor. I don't know if this little rock thing is like hardened paint, whatever. And my first thing that comes to mind is like lead paint, right? Because I know back in the 1900s, why does that sound super old? But they used lead paint on some toys and stuff like that, and that's led to people's death. So my question is, okay, did the Emperor die based on lead poisoning? That would make somewhat sense. The only problem that I have with that is if it is due to lead poisoning based off paints, how does that keep his body from decaying? Like, I'm not too sure what the underlying effects of lead poisoning is. I know it's like obviously in certain doses it can be lethal, but like as for what the symptoms and stuff would cause, I'm not sure. As for the Empress Dowager now, I am surprised about how she's acting because my assumption would be that she doesn't like the high consorts because technically the high consorts are vying for the Empress Dowager's job, right? The only reason why the Empress Dowager is relevant is because she's the mother to the Emperor. Now, I do think she doesn't lose her power because she's still technically the mom of the Emperor, but I do feel like she would have less power once one of the high consorts become the Empress Dowager, right? And then she would be the late Empress Dowager. But she has surprised me about, one, how she acts towards like someone like Gyokyo, right? Maomao said that they act more as friends rather than a mother and a daughter, more likely because of the age, but still. And the fact that we were told that she was involved in not only abolishing slavery, but also abolishing the idea of eunuchs. And then this whole other idea of an unofficial clinic. It's like, okay, this girl has been doing some stuff. I feel like Maomao gets so close to kind of coming to the idea that, oh, maybe Jinshi is like the person, but then she like cuts it off super quick. I'm like, oh my gosh, you were so close. But like, part of me wants her to figure it out. Part of me doesn't. Because even if she does figure it out, she's not going to do anything about it. She might act weird, sort of, to Jinshi because she no longer sees him as just a regular unit, but as someone higher up. I don't know if I'm supposed to trust her or not, because it's hard, because Maomao has consistently, for a couple episodes, been like, oh, stuff has been happening, but the people who are orchestrating it seem to have really no knowledge about poisoning, or they act like they've just been taught how to make certain poisons. Maomao's trying to figure out, or just nonchalantly thinking, oh, there's a person in the palace that is telling people how to make poison. And then this girl pops up out of nowhere, right? So it was like, okay, is the show trying to fake us out? Is it trying to tell us? Should we believe that's still Sweetie? Like, I'm trying to figure out what exactly the introduction to this character is all about. Because I could understand back when they had the envoys and they're trying to make the whole dancing situation up, as to like her giving Maomao the idea about the butterflies, the insects, right? Like, other than that, I don't really know. And then the cat, obviously. But like, why is she here? What is her overarching main point? Anyways, that was my reaction to the Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episode 8. If you like my reaction, make sure to like and subscribe. If you guys want to know anything more, put a comment section down below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.